Atticus Academy. It is Monday, which means Eberron Day, one of my favorite days. Couple of things before we start. We've got the Discord. Um, Discord is awesome. We absolutely love it. It's got a really sort of family feel about it. If you want to go in there and talk about D&D or TTRPGs, or if you just want to go in for a chat and talk about how your day has been going. Twitter. Twitter is the next one. We run viewer games on this channel. We're all about getting new people or people returning to D&D or people who just want to get in a game on this channel. So every week we have 12 new slots for new players to come in. If you want to pop Scrat a DM on Twitter, and we can find a way to get you in one of those games. YouTube is finally up to date. Everything is on there. Absolutely everything is on there. So yeah, you can now go on there. You can watch some season premiere, everything. You can catch up to this episode. Progress. My gosh, our donation goal. I can't believe how far along we are. That we never thought we'd reach this goal in the first month, basically. And I just want to say thank you so much to you guys for doing that. Also, Patreon. Patreon is another way of supporting us because we are full-time now. It's a good way to see Academy news early, because we do an Academy once a month, Academy Open Day. Also, you can see artwork early on before it's released, if it's released, and other sneak peeks. Like we've had some one-shots where we have filmed them off-stream, but if you are part of the Patreon, you can see those. Merch. We use Redbubble. We love Redbubble. In fact, my t-shirts arrived today and I'm really happy about it. I haven't got them on because I'm ill. But they're really, really awesome, and you can get hoodies, t-shirts, you name it, to be honest. I think Redbubble has it. And we have a couple of sponsors. One of our sponsors is Bird in the Storm. These guys are awesome. I don't know if you want to say a little bit about it, Jay, or if you're all good.
No, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. So we're working with these guys, and we're so happy about it. They do some awesome content. We ran one of their modules on the Academy last time. It was so much fun. I know there's a module number 2 in the works, and also stuff is being worked on for season 2, which is super exciting stuff. Also sponsored by Maychan Press, which is also awesome. We use their D&D 5e sort of space thing every Thursday in Argo 37. It's awesome. I'm in love with Wizmos at the moment. That's my new thing. There's loads of wonderful creations there. Otherwise, I think that's oh no, sorry. There is a tweet. Every 10 retweets, we will roll for Wild Magic Surge to see what happens to this lovely group of people in this already chaotic world. And we are also running a competition for some rainbow dice, which is finally up. And I think it's running for 2 weeks. So you can hop on Twitter and enter that to see if you can get yourself a set, 'cause they're really nice and I really want some. Yeah, I think we're all good. The one thing I will say first, I apologize. I am not very well, so I will try and mute myself every time I'm either coughing or sneezing, but I'm sorry. But we will jump in now. We'll just go around the characters and see how everyone's doing and just give a bit of a description about your character. So we'll start with Emmett.
All right, I play Emmett, a Warforged, and let's see, did you want to do a full
summary of last game or just
No,
where
don't
we are
worry.
right
I'll do that. Just give a bit of a description about your character and probably how they're feeling maybe right now.
now? Okay. Emet is in the process of learning how they feel emotion, or at least how they are reacting to the world and trying to find their own personality and their own individuality in the world, trying to learn how to feel more openly and let other people know how they feel. And right now, Emet is probably in a system overload as they don't know how to handle comfort, especially when something and someone is screaming.
Yeah, I'm sort of feeling pretty. So I'm pretty feeling sorry for everyone right now, but Emma, this is just an overload for you. And now we're gonna hop around, go to Vesh.
So I am playing Vesh. He is a Kalishtar, and I'd say he's feeling pretty overwhelmed right now. He is his Kiore, which is sort of a spirit that binds themselves to the Kalishtar, due to some of the weirdness around Cyre and the morning and the mist. Normally they would just sort of be a presence in a Kalishtar's life. However, this one seems to have some kind of physical manifestation in Vesh, not only sort of acting as his the source of his sorcerer powers as a giant soul sorcerer, also has given him some insight into some healing, etc., as the Kiore was sort of a wise a wise storm giant healer, a cleric, and so he is both a tempest cleric as well. But he has kind of no idea how to use those. He is very tall, as some of the giants' influence on him has made him almost 8 feet tall. He's about 16 years old, so he is all elbows and ankles and feet that get in the way of everything. He is just met these people who've sort of taken them under his wing for it, like known them for the last 24 hours, and now finds himself down in the sewer, running away from the city that he was been trying to get to. And now someone who he's already a little confused by is screaming like crazy here, as this even crazier blind dwarf is is being crazy, and Vesh is very confused. He doesn't know what to do.
Awesome. And we will hop over to Ophelia or Tart, however she may be preferred to be named.
I don't know anymore. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, she, her pronouns. And today I am playing Tart, my changeling bard, who is grossed out and has a migraine coming on because she's in the sewers for some reason. And the crazy blind dwarf is screaming and spewing prophecies. And she really would just like to be clean and back home, but she can't because there's probably mist up in the city and there's a bunch of warforged. So it's not going great today, but it'll probably get better. Yeah.
Awesome. Poor Tart. And we'll hop over to Kaya.
So, hi, yeah, I'm Kaya. So it's kind of funny, a bit confusing actually for me, because everything's been going fine and suddenly more Warforged, like Emmett and Blue had shown up, and then we're running through the city, and now we're in the under city, sort of like the cogs, and I don't know, I'm just sort of making friends and going with the flow, but I'm not really sure what's exactly going on, and everybody's gives me the strangest looks over the last course of the day, and I don't know what that's about. But I'm sure we're having a great time, but now this dwarf is screaming and no idea. But I'm feeling great, because I'm just usually my usual happy-go-lucky high elf self.
Awesome. Thank you. So a quick recap after last week. The Warforged got in. The Warforged started forcing people into their homes for their own protection, apparently. And our wonderful team of adventurers headed down into the depths of the city down into the cogs, as they were known. Whilst they were down there, they found great halls, and they were full of lots and lots of not so great bats, which they came across at roughly around the same time as this blind, crazy old dwarf that for some reason could see Vesh. And I'm not too sure why, but after a bit of a on the run and a bit of a fight with the bats, this dwarf took them through some of the pipes and into the sewers, and took him into what this dwarf called his home. And turn in turn, he told our characters something, or said something very odd and very strange and bizarre to them. One thing mainly was that Emmett didn't have a soul, which Blue was also very upset about from the seams of it, and that Tart and Vesh seemed to be intertwined, and that Tart could only be seen when Vesh made contact with her, and the others weren't seen at all. And we left it as the dwarf reached out to touch Kaya's face and just started to scream. So at the moment you stand in a room, the strange dwarf who you scuttled through the cogs led you to. There are piles of shoes and clothes and rubbish, and they're all piled up in the corner near an old rusted warforged that you know was once the dwarf's friend. There's makeshift comfy chairs, and chipped mugs litter the room. The dwarf's tea urn whistles in the corner, and the drip from the water purifying distillery echoes in this now very silent room. The dwarf is dead. It drops to the floor as it lets go of Kaya. Now in a crumpled heap on the floor in front of you all, his arms still outstretched where he had reached out and grabbed her face.
Okay. Great. This is good. Vash, come over here. Come by me. Come away. Come here. Come here now.
Yeah, Vesh is, with the screaming of the dwarf, is sort of, I think, backs up, like just keeps backing up, trying to get away. If I recall, he had been sitting on the couch, but then stood up sort of to look Tart in the eye when Tart had changed into his form. And so I think he just keeps, like, is backing up at the beginning of the screaming, and then when the dwarf falls over dead, he's just, what I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Of course you didn't. Now, just stay away. Stay by me.
Is he dead?
I'm pretty sure. Just, Emet, can you stand here by Vesh, please?
Yes. Was Umet still holding you? I can't remember if he got down.
I think I had hopped down at some point.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you turned into Vesh-sized.
Didn't want to touch the floor.
Yes.
Okay. Then yes, Umet walks over
Okay.
and stands by Vesh.
I'm going to, keeping a careful eye out, I'm going to go over to the dwarf and check for a pulse.
Mm-hmm. You roll a medicine check for me,
Okay.
please.
12.
Okay, on a 12, this guy is dead. This dwarf is, if anything, you think it's probably from a heart attack or something out of
Right.
sheer fear. His face is still contorted in the screaming sort of position, and his hands are reaching out, and his hands are clenched where he was gripping Kaya's face.
Well, since she's not here right now, but if I recall correctly, at the end of the last session, she said anyone looking at her could see a slight curly smile.
She did say that.
Cool. I take note of it. And then I hop up and look at everyone, including Blue. Okay, well, Vesh, I don't want to alarm you, but yes, Mr. Dwarf is dead. I think he may have died of natural causes. Oh, wait. I think that's the name of something else. But I don't see any wounds or anything. So we're just going to stay away, maybe drink no more of the tea. You know, who knows what was in there actually.
But he was. And Vesh is like staring wide-eyed at Kaya.
Emet will put their hand on your shoulder. It's a gesture of comfort, as they don't know how exactly to comfort someone.
That's really good, Emet. That's a really good job you're doing.
This is what you do, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So, Vesh, do you have any... Have you ever seen a dead person before?
Well, not like when they died. I mean, you know, people. I've seen like I've been to a funeral before, but
Yes, it's very scary.
It's natural.
And Blue reaches out, looking at Emmett a couple of times before resting a hand on Tart's shoulder.
I'm okay. Thank you, though, Blue.
Blue.
So, why don't we, we'll just all stand here, not looking at anyone in particular. Maybe we need to just we need to do something with the body.
Okay, from the look on Derek's face, I just want to double check. Derek, how much did you hear before you felt sort of disappeared?
So what I heard was, there was a crazy old gnome who could somehow see Vesh, and like my character, I blacked out, so.
The dwarf is dead. He's currently in a crumpled heap at your feet.
And me, Vesh, and Emet are on the other side of the room with Blue.
So, now, I want to point out, this is sort of hilarious, because, I mean, it's a great prank, right? I just sort of tap him. Hi, hello? I mean, you can stop now.
He's super dead.
No, he's just, oh, come on, he's taking the piss right now. If you think about it, it makes perfect sense, because then you have, it's yours was spooky, and then so was Vesh's, and then Emmett, and then so of course mine has to be the spookiest. It makes perfect sense.
Why'd you kill him?
I didn't. I swear, life's my honor. I didn't kill him. He just touched me and he started screaming and he crumpled over and that's it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from the outside. Mm-hmm.
You've said some pretty scary things before.
Did I? No. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Tart's mom is about the scariest person I've ever met, and
Thank you.
And you were like, I'm gonna rip your tongue out, and that was even scarier.
I don't remember saying that. I thought her mom was quite nice.
Her mom is terrifying.
Thank you.
Well, maybe assertive, yeah, but I didn't think she was terrifying per se.
I think what everyone should do is maybe we're going to move this body to like a corner, right? And then I think we're going to just be chill, everyone. We're going to stay chill.
Why does everyone assume that I'm not chill? Everything's fine.
Well,
I mean,
no, there's a dead dwarf right at your feet, so no.
it's not like it was my fault, Tot. It just happened. He was going around touching people using weird psionic energies or something, and what am I supposed to think?
Right. We don't know what to think yet, although I have one or two possible theories. But so that's why we should stay chill, like Emet. You know, Emet is always very chill.
Vesh
Emet is the chillest.
Vesh sort of reaches over and sort of touches Emet to see what Emet's temperature is. I guess the metal parts are kind of chilly, but the wood parts are just kind of normal.
Okay, good. This is great. Mm. Emet, you're strong, yes?
Yes.
Will you help me? And by help me, I mean I will walk with you as you carry the dwarf maybe to that side of the room.
Emet walks over without saying anything and starts to pick up the body to carry it over.
Because can we still hear the water rushing outside of the door?
You can hear it start to sort of subside. It's more sort of not a trickle, but you can hear it like gushing down some of the pipes, and you know it's sort of leaving.
Okay. A real quick question. Do we know anything about the schedule with that? Is it a certain number of times a day?
He just said it was twice a day, and whilst the pipes were full, it was 2 to 3 hours wait, but would depend. But you know that it was like in the morning, in the evening.
Right.
So you have plenty of time.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to go over with Emet with the dwarf. I just smile real big at Vesh. It's okay. And I'm going to search that creepy dwarf's pockets. See if he has any papers about the schedule or anything like a map or something through the cogs, something like that.
He doesn't seem to have anything in particular on him. It's more sort of really random bits and bobs. So like a shoelace comes out, or he's got crumpled up bits of paper. There's half an eaten something in one of the pockets. But otherwise, that's about it.
Okay, great. Okay, well, now he's in the corner. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty tired. That was a lot.
I don't sleep.
Cool. Vesh?
Vesh is basically gone to the absolute opposite corner and is sort of sitting in the corner. And he's got Frederick out, the little stuffed owl bear, and looks like he's just sort of like talking to Frederick, and just kind of mumbling to himself, probably nonsensical stuff, or just so just sort of under his breath, only having only half of a conversation verbalized. So, but just he's in the corner and he looks sad. His hair's kind of down in his eyes.
I think we should take this time while the water finishes to just take maybe a brief sit down. Everyone is going to collect their thoughts, and then we're going to find the way out of the cogs into the Dagger River together.
Without a word, I go over to the sofa and I sit down, arms crossed, legs crossed, looking kind of away from everybody.
You're very quiet.
Thank you. I go across the room, sit down on the sofa, arms and legs crossed, just looking away from everybody. Like I have no interest in really trying to sit near anyone. Kaya probably for the first time looks very closed off.
Blue will walk over to Kaya, sit down, and put a hand on her shoulder.
I didn't do it, Blue. I didn't.
I know. He just died.
People don't just die, though. Especially not after something like that.
Some do.
I sort of just lean into Blue. Like he's the most non-judgmental thing in the room and just sort of just shift into him.
He's very rigid and he doesn't quite understand, but he tries to mimic you and very roughly just clunks into you, the other side. This is the side where he has got a sort of arm left. He's like, it's okay. Don't look at him.
Oh, I'm not.
Just the dwarf.
I'm going to stay with Vesh and Emet. And I don't think there was any other entrance to this room, so I'm going to try to think back the way we came through the grate, and if there was there anything farther past this door?
You know that the door you came in was on a completely separate sewer line, on like another big pipe. So there was another large pipe with smaller pipes going through, and another thing the dwarf said to you is that it flows out to the dagger.
Right. So we follow the flow. Okay. Cool.
After a little bit, Vesh gets up, and in my mind, there's like an Afghan or something, some blanket or something that's been scavenged, and walks over and picks it up, and then walks over to the dwarf's body in the corner and covers it up with the Afghan. And does anyone know Giant? Starts saying these words that you don't understand, but they have sort of a rhythmic quality to them, as though it's a ritual, as he basically gives the dwarf last rites, but in Giant, as his Kiore has sort of instructed him how to do.
Emet walks over to Kaya and Blue and doesn't touch Kaya, but just looks at Kaya and goes, "You changed like Tart, but not like Tart."
That's a bit cryptic, I'm afraid. You're going to have to be a bit more specific, Emmett.
Your face changes like Tart, but not as completely as Tart's face changes.
So you're saying that I'm just sort of different?
Yes. But we are all different.
I've been told that once or twice before. Why do you think a pretty girl like me is always alone? Something wrong with me. Haven't been able to figure it out.
That sounds sad, lonely. Sad, lonely.
Sad, lonely. And Blue just nods.
You note that Kaya almost starts to fight back a tear or two, and she says, "Sad, lonely, yeah. Yeah, I bet. Just a fucking bit, yeah."
And then Emet stops talking but stands next to Kaya.
Sort of just take a hand and kind of pat Emmet's sort of side wherever I can sort of reach because he's so damn tall. I really appreciate it. And, you know, if you ask me, I think you do have a soul. You're the most. I can tell you care, and it's hard to believe that somebody who cares doesn't have a soul. So don't buy into that shit, okay?
I will think on it.
Maybe we'll get you more ice lollies because they're very good for your soul. So we got that to start off with.
Emet's eyes kind of start to turn purple. It's like now phasing from a blue to a purple. It's almost like a very slow transition.
You all right? Your eyes are doing that thing again.
Emet looks down at you and goes, "Yes. Sad, lonely is hard."
Yeah, it's not great. And Kaya just sort of then leans more into Emmett because he is to some degree emotionally warmer. And Blue's a bit kind of clueless. So thank you, Emmett. It means a lot. I appreciate you trying. No, I didn't mean to kill that one back there. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why people keep dropping, like bodies just dropping around me.
If you are referring to the Warforged, if you had not, I probably would have.
It's good to know. Some sort of sad, lonely solace, I guess.
And Met says it very quietly, just whispers, "That's war." And then their eyes go darker, a lot dimmer.
I just lean into Emmett, just resting my head against him, not really caring that he's metal, just he's someone. It's not taking half the room away. And I just sort of stay quiet for a good while, as long as he's there.
Okay, so do the rest of you do anything at all, or are you waiting for the last of the water to subside? Sort of would you sit in silence, or?
I rolled that perception to see if Vesh heard some of it as he was sort of over closer to them. And while he did, he's still kind of processing. I think once he finishes with these rites that Ulgora, his Kiore, sort of showed him how to do, he sort of goes back over to the corner that he was in before, taking Tart's advice to rest up and to take a moment and wait for the water. He's still just trying to get his head around everything that's happened in the last 24 hours.
Tart is going to, she's kind of tucked herself in a corner. Not far enough away that she couldn't hear, but she's practicing something with a small handheld mirror. And she's practicing that smile she saw perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she mutters, fucking liar, and puts the mirror away. Okay, I think the water has stopped. And I don't relish being in this stinky hole anymore. And not to be crude, but it is going to get stinkier.
True. Emet will go over and start to open the door unless someone says otherwise.
Could you roll a strength for me, please? This is like a huge hatch with a wheel.
Oh no!
You don't know what it is, but as you clamp down, you don't know if it's because it's got very cold down here and maybe some water's dripped on you and you're not sure, but you just get stuck.
It's okay.
Emet looks at Tart and goes, maybe we don't leave.
Oh no, I think we should definitely leave, like, as soon as possible. Maybe if we all kind of put our hands together on the hatch. I'm not strong, but...
Blue hops up and says, let's try again, and walks over, and Emmett, you still holding on to it?
Yes.
Yeah, Blue will just try and turn it with you, so if you could roll another strength, and Blue will roll one as well.
I don't...
Oh,
Ash?
Okay.
Refresh
Oh
your rolls.
my god!
Oh my gosh.
Everybody refresh rolls one. No, no, refresh.
Okay, so
Mm-mm.
the rest of you see the two Warforged literally like go and they're stuck in place. And Blue's like, I don't understand.
I don't either, Blue.
Hart glances at Kaya.
Vesh takes a second and goes, could it be that, he opened it and closed it, and remember, he could only see me. Maybe it needs to be, and he kind of looks at them, and he doesn't want to bring it up, but someone alive.
Emet, let's go, and takes a step back.
And Blue will do exactly the same.
And I guess Vesh will go over, and can I do like an investigation check to see if there's sort of like a locking mechanism or any like a timer on it or something?
Yeah,
a time lock or something to make sure that it doesn't get opened at the wrong time.
Yes, you can.
I don't know how well this is going to go. Tell you what, I'm going to spend a nat 20 to see some kind of locking mechanism that might be involved. That's the reason, or locking mechanism or something that's making it that this, 4 nat ones in a row. Stuck.
Doors.
You
the door.
You look around and you can see almost like a little box on the wall, and you can hear like a ticking inside of it. It's just got a small little latch, and it's the same metal as the door.
And I sort of look to see if there's like a little like marks or whatever in it to see if something needs to line up, and goes, I don't think it's you. I think it's this. I think that we have to wait until it dings.
And literally, as you finish, or whilst you're speaking, you hear ding, and it's the door, the hatch itself just goes and just starts to open and unlock itself. And you can pull the door open.
Very good, Vesh. That was so smart. Woo.
Emet walks up and pulls the door further open, very annoyed at not having been able to open it.
I am strong.
Okay, as you guys do this, you step into the sewers themselves. Probably much to Tart's utter disgust.
Yep. I hate it.
It smells down here. This is where a lot of the rubbish goes, a lot of the waste goes. And you can smell salt and like that black mud, like you can smell the sea. And you can feel a breeze coming from the direction off to your right as you step out.
While we're walking, can Vesh talk to Tart?
Whilst you're walking, there's the odd rat that sort of scurries by your foot, and the water sort of comes up to a reference sort of Kaya and Tart your ankles, just above your ankles. It's sort of a murky greenish water. There's some bits floating in it, but you probably don't. Yeah.
So kind of where are we in relation to each other? Because I kind of want to talk to Tart.
I am in the back.
Vesh will sort of go back to sort of making check Tart, are you okay back there? And then sort of stop and wait for you as if everyone else keeps proceeding.
I'm okay. This is disgusting, but it's probably almost over, and that's good.
It's not too bad. I got my new boots, and so it's not as bad as it was before.
That's good. Those boots are. I cleaned them. I'm going to have to clean them again. That's okay. I can do that anytime. So it's chill. You would notice her, like, she keeps eyeing the front of the line. She's not the subtle person all the time, but she seems like kind of flaring lights at the rats if they get too close, just like little lights to spook them off. But she's doing it very like that's obviously not what she's focused on.
I mean, these rats will just sort of squeak and turn away and run in the opposite direction of whatever light you burst them.
So Tart?
Yes, Vesh?
Are you a schemer? Are you running a scheme?
Right now?
You and your mom.
Oh, okay. So politics is very complicated, right? And Sharn has a lot of complicated politics. Why do you ask?
Well, are you Tart now, or are you
I'm Tart right now.
Yeah. So are you pretending to be Lady Ophelia, or are you really Lady Ophelia? And are you and your mom trying to... There was a guy who came to my town when I was a kid who robbed the merchant I stayed with because he told lots of lies, made us have confidence that he was going to do good things for us. And I was wondering, and we had a very hard winter because of that. And he called him a schemer, and I was wondering if you were a schemer like them, because I don't know who all of you are, and I realize that I'm kind of don't know who all of you are, and I think you're really nice, and I need to kind of know who you are.
I am not scheming you, Vesh.
Are you scheming the Fairlands?
No, all the Fiarlands are very aware of who I am. It's the other families who are not so much. We deal in secrets, Vesh. We don't sell you fake crops or things like that. We collect secrets of everyone, and we sell those sometimes, or just hang on to them. That's what my family does.
Oh,
Ophelia, and then this is super low, and since we're in the back, just really low to him. No, this is a secret, Vash, and it's a very important one. Ophelia was murdered last year.
oh, oh. That's terrible.
Yes, and it was very bad for our family too, which is what they mostly cared about.
So, so is your mom or Ophelia's mom? Because if she's Ophelia's mom, that might be the reason she's so mean. Because she lost her daughter. That's really sad.
She lost her heir, is what she lost. But yes, she's not my biological mother. I don't know where mine is, or if I have one. I don't know if people like me have one.
I don't know where I do know where my mom is, but I remember her little, just a tiny bit, mainly from what the merchant told me. She got me out of Cyre. I know that. Never knew my dad.
Was your mother nice?
I think so. I mean, she saved me.
My mother saved me too, though she is not nice. But she saved me.
Well, yeah. But like I said, that's pretty hard if you lost your daughter or your heir. What's an heir?
An heir is someone who will inherit your wealth and position after you die.
Oh, like a king.
Yes, yes, mother would think of herself as the king, yes. She was trying to
He walks around like she is.
yeah, she's a very confident woman, yes. She was trying to broker some alliance with some of the other families. It's a long, long history that I always got really bored every time she would tell me it, and I had to memorize it, but I didn't really want to, so it's kind of wishy-washy. But I don't know that even though we are uh, sometimes called the House of Shadows, that I am the schemer amongst our party.
Huh. Okay. I just wanted to know because schemers, like I said, a schemer really ended up hurting me before, and I didn't want to have someone who'd been so nice to me end up being a schemer.
I'm not going to hurt you, Vash.
Okay.
And I'm not going to let anyone else hurt you.
Kai is really lonely, and I know what that feels like.
That is one thing she is, yes.
Hmm.
I think a healthy amount of distrust is good for anyone. So it's good that you asked.
Well, I, well, he seemed very confused by the healthy amount of distrust. That doesn't. It's almost like incomprehensible to him of what that means. A healthy amount of distrust. Okay.
Skepticism.
I just wanted to see who you were.
Well, this is who I like to be, at the very least.
But you were me for a little bit back there.
Yes, I see why you sometimes have trouble moving around. It's harder. Yeah.
He kind of laughs. It's tough, right?
Yes, no, it's very difficult. I get it. I get it now. I literally get it.
But at least At least the sludge doesn't come up quite as high on your legs, and you might watch your step.
Oh, okay, this is good. You know what? Yes, it's a good idea. I'm just going to grow a little. Oop. That's better.
And with that, I figure we'll try to catch up with the rest of the party. I mean, we've been walking just a little bit far back, but
we have reached 10 retweets. So I'm going to give each of you a number, and then we will roll for it. So Emmett 1, Vesh 2, Kaya 3, and Tart 4. So let's have a look. Number 3. And it is rolling a 1d 503, please.
that number just gets bigger every week.
Yeah, it does. I didn't even know it was that big right now.
Here goes nothing. 46.
46. Wow, that's low. Okay, we will get to that in a second. So whilst these guys are chatting at the back, oh god. Okay, that wild magic surge. Sorry, whose was it? Was it yours, Kaya's?
Unfortunately.
You notice as you walk along. In fact, it's barely even noticeable. I think you've got a bit taller. Why is everyone tall in this game? But the target grows 1/2 inch every day.
Every day.
Every day.
For how
I mean,
long?
it could be fat. I mean, I don't know. You could grow it out, but you just grow 1 inch every day.
All right, good to know.
But you probably, maybe you just see it as yourself walking a little bit taller. Maybe. But whilst Vesh and Tart are at the back, what are the rest of you doing? Blue's probably just keeping close to Emmett. Probably trying to follow his stride as he goes.
Emet probably won't talk a whole lot unless talked to, but they do glance back towards Tart and Vesh a lot because neither him nor Blue are with Tart, and that makes him insanely uncomfortable.
Blue will probably copy your every move. He's probably not sure why he's doing it, but he's doing it. And what about Kaya? What's Kaya doing?
She's walking along just really quietly. Looks very disheartened. Still a bit behind Emmett. Not really saying much, but just sort of within arm's reach. But she looks very she has this look on her face, sort of like, you know, when you know someone who's frequently having a bad day and they're just sort of waiting for it to get worse. There's almost this look of familiarity with this sort of feeling.
After some time, Emet will send Blue back there. Just be like, go stand next to Tart. But he will wait some time before he does that.
So sort of just as you finish your conversation, Vesh and Tart, you hear extra loud splashing as Blue comes trudging through this dank water towards Tart and just stands next to you and then continues to walk with you. With
We should
no
probably
explanation.
catch up, maybe.
Yes, this feels like a good hint to catch up. Come on. Blue, yeah, let's go. I will take his one arm and start to walk a little faster.
He sort of tries to hold it he stands more upright. He's sort of mimicking the people he saw at the ball back up at your very large manor house. You guys walk for quite a bit. This is a huge tunnel. And then you hear something. Could you roll perception checks for me, please?
22.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Vesh and Kaya, you'll hear footsteps, watery footsteps of splashing, of something moving. And moving not quickly, but not like a casual stroll either. Now, Tart, you will see a dwarf-like figure walking through one of the pipes and crossing your path. And Emmett, you will see Tart spot this, and thus your eye line is led to this dwarf.
Is it just crossing? Does it stop at all?
It has started to cross your path. What do you...
I grab Blue and Vash and kind of and Kaya, stop. Just as soft as I can, but hoping they can hear it.
Emet stops immediately being too far and not liking the situation, or feeling too far and not liking the situation. And if Kaya keeps walking, I assume they would walk like right into Emet.
Yeah, she does. She just kind of, not paying attention, just sort of, poof. Emet, what? You're right.
As you say this, the figure stops and looks. And you hear it, hold up. Who's there? And you hear a sword leave its sheath. Hello?
Quick question. Emmett's got his light on, right? Because I know Vesh wouldn't be able to see otherwise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost blinding him with this light. He's just like, put your light out, like.
Emet will dim their eyes at that.
And a figure strides forwards. And you see a dwarf, an old grizzled dwarf. And as he steps into the light, you can see that the right side of his face is badly burnt. And piercing bright blue eyes stare at you through the darkness. His hair is long, it's white and tightly pulled back into a fairly short braid. He's brandishing a sword in your direction. Not necessarily menacingly, more caution.
Towards Emet or the other group?
Just the group. Mainly towards Emet. You are
Okay.
the biggest thing there, almost. So he's wearing full armor, even though it looks very old and well used. Well, who are you then?
Emet.
Okay, so... Geez, I haven't seen one of you in, well, a whole one of you. Years. What about the rest of you?
Hello, we're just Gesundheit. We're just trying to get to the Dagger River.
Dagger River?
Yeah.
Well, if you keep going along here, you're just going to end up in a maze. You wanna head down here, and he sort of gestures to one of the smaller pipes. He's like, "Are you here for the Rats Market?"
What?
And he sort of rolls it as like, the Rats Market is mainly what we're all down here for anyway. You know? You don't look like the sort of folk that comes down here often. And then he sort of looks at Tart, especially you.
Thank you. So, do the rats sell things? Or are they what is sold at the Rats Market?
There ain't no rats at the Rats Market.
Well, then that's a misnomer, my good dwarf sir.
Or
It's
as we
where
say,
Sorry, go on.
as we say in the common tongue, yeah, Tart's got a point. It's a really shit name.
And he looks at you, very confused. Like, it's where we sell the stuffs we find down here and we make in the rat's den. It's a lot of stuff down there. Bits of these fellas everywhere. And he sort of gestures to Blue and Emmett.
I found boots.
Well, good for you, son. Like, and he just sort of looks over and nods to you. He doesn't seem like an aggressive person. He's literally just a grizzled, slightly grumpy guy. Me and my clan, it's what we do. We search for stuff, and we make it, sell it, bin it. You know?
I love shopping. Is it on the way to the Dagger River?
Well, you'll need to go through the Rats Market to get down to the Underland port. The
Can we-
Underland, like seeing your like expression, he's like, the Underland port is a port where you can get some of the boats to get out of the sewers to get to the Dagger River. Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes.
Right. Well, you better come with me then. I'm not taking you the old way. I'll just take you to the Rats Market. I've got stuff to be doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
What are your names? I'm Candon.
I'm Vesh.
Hi, Vesh.
Tart.
What, like the cake?
Yes, like the cake. I'm very sweet.
I bet you are. And he just sort of looks over. He's like, and what about, and he gestures to Emmett and Blue.
Emet.
Fair enough then. And Blue just, Blue, and just holds out a hand, and he sort of takes like almost like a finger and just shakes it lightly, and then peers round. He goes, "Oh, what about you?"
Hiya. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, all right. Well, you seem like an all right bunch to me. Definitely don't look like you belong down here. Follow me then. And he resheaths his sword and starts to make his way down another pipe. This pipe's slightly smaller, so some of you are going to have to get down on hands and knees to actually get. It's not so. It's not like your like army kind of thing. You can move properly through this, but that is how it is. And you will be following this dwarf for about half an hour. Are you talking at this point?
Before we turn down the other one, Vesh sort of looks at Tart and goes, "Now you probably want to be shorter."
Good idea. And I go, "Brrrr." That's the sound.
I'm assuming that probably Vesh is on literally hands and knees.
I would say so.
Yeah.
You roll just your like maybe not dexterity just to see like how well you're going to like
Make it
knock
through
your
here.
elbows.
If I'm going to end up completely covered in shit or whether I'm just partially covered in shit.
Yeah, it's all right. You won't be too covered.
Well, that's a 5. Oh no, he pretty much
Yeah,
he's doing the full Shawshank Redemption before all's said and done.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
he-
sort
he's
of
flipping.
put your hand on something under the water and slip and send your arm across, and you crash into this very shallow, mucky water.
Ugh. Sorry, Tart. Yeah, you're gonna have to do the little fingery thing again.
Yep. I know. I was planning on doing it anyway, frankly, so.
Pretty handy.
While going through the tunnel, Emet will actually either be in front of or behind Tart this time. So they did not like dwarf
Yeah.
interruption.
And you arrive at another one of these like vault-like doors. And whilst you're here, you can't hear you haven't been able to hear anything other than the sewers themselves. However, as this dwarf starts to unloosen the hatch and open, you can hear life, like quite vibrant, not as not quite like at the festival or anything like this, but there's definitely things going on down here. And this door opens up into a huge pipe and a huge series of pipes. There are it's busy. There are lots and lots of things going on here. Mainly dwarves fill this space. And Vesh, you've probably not seen before, but you can spy one or two goblins just mixing among them, making funny noises. They scurry between the legs of the people, and very few humans, maybe 3 or 4 humans. So you guys will stand out and probably tower over a lot of these. The smell is like musty mixed with damp, but you can't help but catch a whiff of cooking meat and ale as huge tankards are clanked together and being carried amongst what is like a makeshift flea market. This is not tidy like the fun, colourful markets you saw up in Shan. These are working people. There are lots of people cooking, and if the stalls aren't selling food, they're laden with trinkets and odd mechanical creations that look as though if they've been pieced together from other things probably found down here in the sewers.
I'm trying to recall. I think we basically got up. We never had our picnic. Ran outside. Ran back inside. Got told to come down here. At this point, I think, what is it, like midday probably? How long have we been traveling?
It's after lunch.
Oh, yeah. And basically, Vesh has had a cup of tea. His stomach audibly growls. And Vesh, sorry, but I'm hungry.
That's fine. We could get something to eat. The least sketchy looking thing, probably.
It all looks good to me.
Yeah.
I've had worse.
Camden is leading you through these, and he's like, look, if you want something to eat, we'll go over there. If you meet a guy named Boris, don't touch anything he cooks for you. That is rat. And he just sort of keeps walking forwards. You see a lot of people stop and stare, particularly at the Warforged. At both Blue and Emmett. Some throw a glance to Vesh. And Camden. So Emmett, you'll feel someone might reach out and touch you, and Camden quickly just slaps a hand away. He's like, sorry, they ain't seen the likes of you before.
Do people live their whole lives down here?
Well, yeah. Why not?
I just wanted to know, because I had never seen a Warforged either, but there were lots of them upstairs.
Oh, are there? Yeah, I know they work on the docks and they work in the cities and giving them all the odd jobs and whatever now. They're regular old citizens.
Are you not citizens down here?
Well, yeah, but we're citizens of the sewers. We ain't Upper Shan.
Vesh sort of looks around, and having pretty much survived literally out of garbage cans and back alleys on his trip after being sort of abandoned by the merchant. Again, it's a little bit more what he's used to. Of course, it's a market, so he's worried about breaking things, and there's lots of people who only come up to his knees, so he's feeling even more out of place than he normally does. And he's trying to. It's that weird thing of being in the big pipes again, which have sort of this giant architecture, but these little people, and it's this weird juxtaposition. But these don't seem to be like fancy things that's where he's gotten in the most trouble. These seem to be sort of makeshift things. It seem like things that mainly like things that have been broken and already been fixed once before, so they're probably fixable.
Yeah.
A little bit of comfort to Vesh.
Everything here looks like it's been made out of something that's already been broken.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Vesh's kind of place.
Right, I'm going to take a really quick bio. Sorry, I'm drinking so much tea because I'm not very well, but I'll be back in a minute. If you guys, I was about to say, do you want to explore the thing? But yeah, I'm the one running it, so I'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
Okay, so Vesh, you want something to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, we can
Well-
do that.
So, I guess we go to a place that you're Candid. If you'd lead the way, that's great.
That's a good idea. I don't want anyone to go wandering off by themselves just because I don't want anybody trying to scavenge Emeth and Blue for parts.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, Matt looks at you. That
Well, don't look if you. There. That might be disturbing. I don't know.
Blue needs an arm.
That's a good idea. We could find Blue an arm. Yes.
Wow. That's a great idea, Mitt.
Food. And then, what
Well,
else do we
How
need?
far, if we're going to the Dagger River, how far do we have to go from there?
Mother just had to get somewhere safe.
We probably need to get, like, food to take with us?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, very good. Okay, so food for now, food for later, and an arm for Blue. That's nice.
I'm sure Candid can help us with that.
Yes, we have it. Candon, if you would be so kind as to give us your specific recommendations, since you are a connoisseur of this
Well,
market.
I can do. I mean, come over here. And he dragged you over to a stall, and immediately the smell hits your nostrils. About 4 or 5 stalls away. This smells amazing. And it's a joint of beef that you're pretty sure has been slow roasted over this spit for absolutely hours. And he walks over, and there is a large female dwarf there, huge, stout. She's got an apron in one hand, and then she's got this juice or something that she's pouring over this huge piece of meat as it rotates over the fire. She's like, "Oh, hello, loves. Who'd you bring here then?"
Vesh has anime hungry face on. The the big giant eyes with the little with the drool coming out. He's bent over. I assume that this is down at her height to cook, so he's sort of bent over, looking in the stall, and just, is obviously enamored of the piece of haunch of meat and this friendly voice for, such a welcoming voice. And so, and I looked at everybody else. Yeah. And then he sort of looks at her and goes, he immediately was like, "Can I get how much is it for some meat?"
So, and she looks over at Candon, and he sort of gives her a wink, and she winks back. It's like, "For friends of Candon, is this your first time down here, my loves?"
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Tell you what, first taster is on me. And she just starts slicing up this succulent meat, and piling on what you guess is some form of like potatoes or root vegetable, which she's just piling on top and putting more of the juice on. And she hands Vesh probably an extra large bit of it. It's like, "You look like you're a grown boy and need it. Why don't you
Yeah, I am.
get that in you?"
Yes, ma'am. And
This is delicious. Like, and she hands one out to each and every one of you. She doesn't really think, she hasn't really seen a Warforged. She hands one to Blue and Emmett as well. And
Emmett takes it.
As I was saying, Blue just pokes it and looks to Emmett.
Emmett will give his portion to Vesh. He seems the hungriest.
I assume there's like tables here, or probably dwarven-sized tables.
down some of the pipes, the smaller pipes that lead off the smaller, and you can see they've just put out long wooden tables with long benches. And people are sat at them, they're eating, they're laughing, they're drinking, they're chatting, and it feels just very vibrant.
And so Vesh just sort of sits down and does what he did before and sits down at the end next to everybody and goes, well, what's that? So food's taken care of, and he's and thank you, Emmett, for sharing. You sure you don't want any?
I'm just not hungry.
Okay.
Filled.
Sure.
I am filled.
And Blue looks to the others, and just because already seeing Vesh has one, is just basically trying to force this extra portion on one of you.
Tart, if you want to split it, we could. I mean, it's quite a bit he's got there.
I mean, I'm pretty hungry. I'm okay, I think.
I have plenty. Y'all should have the rest of that. It's good food. You shouldn't let it go to waste. Never know where your next meal's coming from.
That's very wise, Vesh. Yeah, it's a good thing to
I know what it's like to go hungry when you travel. It's no fun.
No, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Kaya sets her plate down and immediately goes and hugs Vesh, because that's just the saddest thing she's heard.
Vesh looks at Kaya and goes, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Here, you.
I know what it's like to be lonely too. And I was just kind of freaked out by the dwarf dying. And here's the thing. You've got something that makes bad things happen around you, just like I sometimes make bad things happen around me. But I don't do it on purpose. I don't think you do either. So even though sometimes you're kind of scary, that's just who you are. And I accept that you're a good person and you're nice. Even when you're not.
Tell you what, we'll make a deal. Yeah.
Yeah?
How about we do this? If we're gonna be good people, we be the best people that we can. And if we're gonna make bad things happen, then we at least gotta try to spoil the world in the most spectacular way together.
That sounds good to me. So we'll just be good people, even when we have to do sometimes scary bad things.
The scariest.
Or break things we don't mean to.
Yeah, someone has to build those dwarfs better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're very sweet, Vash. Thank you.
You gonna eat that? Points at your potato.
Oh, yeah, honestly, I like more like leafy things, so I stick the potato and I set it on his plate gently and go, there you go.
Thanks.
You know, if you grow it anymore, we're gonna have to take you to a special tailor all the time.
Well, this last spurt was good enough. Hopefully it lasts for a while.
Yeah. Oh boy. When we get you someplace really good to stay, I hope they have more than enough food, because boy, you are enough for to support a whole economy.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets a little quiet about that, sort of, again, remembering that he's trying to find a new home, but it doesn't last with him for long. The atmosphere is infectious, everyone around eating and drinking, and just sort of, even though it's sort of this dark and dank place, that it's nice, you know, and you know, he doesn't feel as awkward as like he did at the ball.
Emmett, you hear a little voice just behind you. Excuse me. Excuse me? And you can feel like a little tap on like a clank on your arm or your leg.
I turn around.
There is a very young, tiny dwarf little girl in just a normal brown, like homemade dress, and she's got a little apron on. You can guess she's probably spotted you and come over from one of the stalls. And she just looks up at you with her massive eyes. And she's like, Mum told me not to be rude, but what are you?
I am Emmet. I am a Warforged.
Wow, what's that?
Emmet gets quiet at that, and their eyes kind of like dim as they try and think. They've never been asked what a Warforged is before. So a Warforged is me.
Ah. And she sort of points up and she's like, you've got a beard like my dad.
I like my beard. Your dad must have a good beard. And they looked at her and be like, did I do that right?
You did that so well. Yeah, no, you're nailing it. You're nailing it.
I like your beard. It has flowers in it.
Emmet will like pick one of the tiny flowers and pass it to the tiny dwarf, except for the flower's probably like too small to actually hold.
Yeah.
So it may just like, fall right in front of the tiny dwarf girl.
She sort of looks at you, briefly, like, for me.
For you.
Ah, and she sort of reaches up to you and then takes it. It doesn't smell of anything, but she looks like she's really trying to sniff it. And she just pops it in her thick braided hair. So, you gave me something, I'll give you something. And she's got a little red scarf, like a sash that's tied around her waist, keeping her apron up, and she unties it. And the hand you've handed her this flower with, she ties it round your wrist. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being the first Emmet I've ever met.
You are welcome.
I've got to go now. I'm not actually supposed to be here, but bye.
Oh. Bye.
And she darts off into the crowd of all these people, just mix of people.
Huh. Emmet looks around. And during that whole exchange, their speech was a bit more stuttery than usual. It was a bit more uncomfortable.
Because Vesh, are there like napkins?
There are what you can assume are meant to be napkins, but it's definitely just scraps of like old material that have all piled up at one end of the table.
So, because I'm assuming, well, it's middling. So Vesh, tries to not just wear most of his food, but it's a big old plate of good food, and Vesh is probably. Like most people back in times, he probably is like just trying to use like his knife, a small knife or something to try to eat with, and so there's quite a bit gets on him as well, and he reaches across to try to grab some of these napkins, and so while Emmet's having this conversation, probably looks up if Emmet looks across, kind of catches Vesh kind of mid. Like dripping with stuff, trying to be like, could somebody, could you hand me our tart?
Yep. No, I'm going to just clean you up real quick. Make you.
I can do it. I just need.
No, I've got it. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, Tart.
You're welcome.
And as you sit there, Camden is like, right, you all fed up and everything? Do you want me to take you down to, well, I may as well take you down to the dock now I'm here.
We're looking for an arm.
A what?
A mechanical arm.
For Blue.
And he looks over at the other Warforged and is like, alright. I can't get you one the exact same colour. But
That's okay.
there's
I
gotta
could
be
probably
something down
dye
here.
it or tint it.
And he sort of jumps up from the table and starts to walk back down this pipe. And there's a section where it looks like it's one of the smaller pipes has been closed off with a curtain, and he just flings it open. And he's like, Carnan, are you home? And a man, a human, stumbles out. He is in an apron. He is covered in so many trinkets and goggles and just things all over him. His eyes are magnified from this pair of goggles he's wearing, and he's just like, hello, didn't expect you to be here.
Hi.
Oh, wow. And he sort of basically pushes past Tart and looks at Emmett. He's like, you know, I haven't seen a working one of you in a long time.
I am Emmet.
And he's
He's
just
a warforged.
yes, I can see that. And he's just sort of circling Emmett. He's like, what seems to be the problem?
Blue needs an arm.
Yes, Emet is perfect. He has a moss beard. He's fine.
Blue. And Blue just pokes out from behind Emmett, like, with his one arm. He's like, oh, you want an arm? Okay, fine. And he reaches in what seems like a cupboard and just pulls this long rail out. And there are all of these arms and legs of Warforged. Like, they just get chucked down here. No offense. And he looks over at Emmett and Blue. Normally I'll make something else out of them. Watches, clocks. You know, the ones that make the funny noises. I like those ones when they hit midday.
So, do you think you have something that would fit our friend?
And he sort of looks at Blue. Not got the right colour, but I might have the size. And he just starts, like, effectively just parting all of these, going through and pulling all these arms apart. And he takes one down, which is almost, it's got a couple of yellow bands across it, and it looks a lot better than the rest of Blue. And he's like, I guess that, and he's like, come here. And Blue sort of looks over to Tart and Emmett. And sort of waddles over there. And the guy, Karnan, just starts trying to measure it up against him. And it's slightly too long, but he's sort of like, it's the best I can give you.
I mean, I would assume it's better than no arm.
What do you think, Blue?
And Blue's like, it is yellow.
Yep.
Emmett, do you like it?
It's a good arm, Blue.
And then looks over to Vesh, Kaya, and Tart, is it? Do you like yellow?
Yes.
Yellow
I
is
do.
nice. I turn to the human and I say, do you think it's possible to get like a mounted crossbow on that arm? You know, just to be safe.
Oh, well, I don't deal in those things, but I'm sure if you go somewhere else in a city, we don't really do weapons so much down here. But you can He's definitely got the wrong accent. He's like, well, if you don't, too many dwarfs. He's like, well, I'm sure if you go over to one of the next cities, I'm assuming you're not here to stay from the looks of you.
No, not really as such. No.
The underland port.
Yeah, the Underland port. And he sort of just gives you a bit of a gesture. And he's like, yeah, you just head out the port here, and the next port or city you're at, then I'm sure you find a decent blacksmith and you'll all be all good.
All right, that works. Now that I think of it, Blue, do you know how to use a crossbow?
No, I normally just hit things.
Well, if you want, I could show you how to use a crossbow. So that way when things go, what's the phrase? Completely storm reach, then we can, do something, we can have a backup plan.
Okay. And this guy goes about tinkering, just very poorly fixing this arm onto Blue. He's like, I'm sorry, I'll be honest, I've never actually fixed it to a live one before. And again, there's like, no offense, over it, Emmett. But Blue effectively has an arm that's slightly too long for him, but it seems to balance him out a little bit. And he's no longer got this weird lean to one side.
So Vesh, after hearing this human say to a live one before, sort of all of a sudden it's like the wheels click tink, in his head, and he looks to Emmett and he kind of remembers the dead dwarf that they just saw, and then sort of sees this entire rack of basically body parts. And he's like, oh. And he looks to Emmett. Emmett, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Is this normal?
Warforged, we change our arms out to fit what we need. Or legs, shoulders, whatever.
Huh. So if you wanted to be shorter, you could just change your legs and
If
arms and...
I wanted to be shorter.
And Blue's in the corner, like, swinging his arm around, and the guy's like...
Emmett will go over and, like, hold up their hands, like you do with, like, practicing boxing. To let Blue practice his new arm.
Yeah. Blue immediately just starts punching Emmett in the hands, basically. So, Emmett, can you roll a strength for me? No, an athletics, actually, just to see how you're resisting and doing this. Okay, so Blue is slightly stronger than he realized, and you don't fall over or anything, but as this hits you, you stagger back and hit the wall. Not hard or anything. And Blue's like, I am sorry.
That is a good arm, Blue.
And he looks at it, and he just starts to bend it and move it, trying to see how the joint works to make it more comfortable. And Kana's like, is that all right then? Is a good fit? He seems
That is a good fit.
You know what? I'm really chuffed I've managed to see some of you walking around. I've never seen one before, so I hope the arm stays on, but it should stay on. But thank you. I've always wanted to meet one of you. And he's sort of looking at Emmett.
It's nice to meet you.
And you. And Camden is sort of stood leaning against the doorway, just effectively waiting for you guys.
Well, was there anything else?
Should we get some food to take on the road with us?
Right.
Some water and...
Yes.
Well, you're going to want to find yourself a boat first.
Sure. I love boats.
No, I mean someone who sail a boat. You ain't gonna get your own down here. You need
Nah.
someone to take you out. There's no way you're navigating your way out the sewers.
Mhm.
So we
Okay.
need to find a like a ferryman.
Well, it's more just sort of people with their own boats. They don't necessarily do. I know a guy. He's a bit of an arsehole, but he'll get you where you want to go. You can go talk to him if you want.
I mean, you haven't let us down yet.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. Come with me. And if you go with him, he starts to lead you to what you think could be like a makeshift tavern. It's just another big pipe, and there's lots of these tables and benches again, and a makeshift bar where these people all walking along, and with their hands they're carrying like 5 or 6 tankards of beer and dropping them on the table. And you can see a sign, and when I say a sign, someone has crudely painted on the sign the slaughtered ox. He's like, it's in here, and he just sort of pushes through the curtain. So, I'll wait for you here. I've got to go and, talk to a man about a rat. And he sort of turns off and steps back. Before he's that one there, and he points to a human that is sat with his big messy boots up on the table. He's got scraggy red hair, and he's smoking a pipe, and he's sort of like just nodding to people as he goes past, and he's got a full tankard.
Wait, Camden, does he have a name?
Yeah, oh, sorry, Tarlan, as he sort of backs out.
Cool.
I
All
thought
right.
He said there were no rats here.
I think he's having us on. Or just, being subtler than we are. 'Cause we are not subtle. We stick out.
So you said there's like a curtain on a rod on like a string or something.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
run through it before
gonna say, can you
before Vesh does.
I was gonna say, right as you say we don't stick out, Vesh has to duck under this clothesline with a curtain on it. Yeah.
So can you run a dex for me just to see how
Just cause.
tangled you're gonna get? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You sort of walk through this, and you know those doorways that have all the beads, and then when people get stuck in them and start to, you're basically doing this and slowly tying yourself up in this Vesh-sized knot. So
I tried, Tart. I really did. I wanted to blend in and not make a scene.
I mean, you look good.
I figured like it's caught on some of his chainmail.
It's like a fashion statement. Like you can be soft and armored
So
at
he
the
tries
same.
to start put it back up and get it hooked back up.
as you do this, as you sort of basically fall through this, loads of dwarves turn to look at you and raise a beer and go, way, and just sort of cheer as you sort of
Like
stagger through
someone
the
who
door.
drops a plate in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Vesh tries to take a bow and fails miserably.
What does he do then? What does he do?
So he's gonna try to take a bow because he's kind of like, oh, these are, because he's been clumsy his whole life, so he's trying to play it off, and I figure as he tries to bend over, it's a little more caught on him, he believes. So then he brings basically the whole thing down on top of him, and as it sort of hits him in the back of the head, he goes down and basically does spread eagle on the floor, and kind of again, he's just been prestidigitated, but of course is dirty again. But in Vesh high charisma fashion, basically looks up. He's got his kind of hair down his eyes. He just kind of gives everyone a smile and just goes like, "Sorry."
And
That's
everyone
the show.
cheers. You're sort of your apologies are drowned out as everyone cheers again and then turns back to what they're eating and drinking.
I turn to Tart and say, Vesh actually reminds me of a song I learned from my friend Ren forever ago. It's about this one bloke who just has the worst luck. It's amazing he survives. He was a builder back in the early days of Shan. Basically, long story short, he got hit. Let's see. So they're building like something like 14 stories up, yeah? And he decides to tie like, a barrel with like all these bricks in it. It kind of holds on, gets thrown about a bunch. The barrel breaks, lands on top of him, and somehow he survives. True story, I heard. I wonder if he and Vesh are related.
I don't know.
I'm not actually from Sharn.
Oh, well. I mean, there's always, a chance.
Maybe. But he's gotten himself untangled now and sort of tries to look cool because we were supposed to look cool and blend in with the cool people, the cool dwarfs in here. And kind of, and again, oh God, we're still in our fancy clothes. So he's still got his yellow breeches. Or no, he was wearing a tapestry like a poncho.
Yeah.
So he's got wearing a tapestry like a poncho. He's with over yellow breeches and a orange shirt and a purple sash. Yeah, he's subtle.
In such a beautiful way. So as you do, as you fall through the doorway, the guy's or Talon's, he sort of catches attention, and he looks over and he's seen Carndon sort of beckon you his way, and he's like,
Are you Mr. Tarlin?
"That I am," and he just sort of gestures to the other chairs around the table. "Do you want a drink? Drink."
Are you? Yep. Yes, I do. I like a man who buys me drinks. I am going to scooch up onto the bar because I can do that. If I
And
want.
he sort of looks at Kyra and Tart, looks at Emmett and Blue and just nods, and looks at Vesh. He's like, "Do you want a drink, boy?"
Water would be great.
Okay.
Or tea.
I don't do tea here.
Try a light ale, Vesh. It's easier. I think you'll take it much
You've
better than
got
the wine.
the choice of ale or ale, basically.
I'll have the ale.
And he's like, "Awesome." And he just sort of waves behind the bar, and a woman just sees him and nods and walks over and almost just throws these tankards of ale on the table and disappears again. He's like, "What can I do you for?"
Well, we were looking for an escort in a boat.
Oh, in a
Boat
boat.
escort.
We're looking for someone to captain a boat for us. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Where are you looking to go in?
Just down the Dagger River a ways.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm actually heading home, back to Stormhome. I can drop you off as I leave and head out.
You're headed to Stormhome?
Well, yeah, I've got to make some stop-offs first, but I'm just going. I can drop you off at Glyphstone Keep.
No, Storm. I turn. I suddenly get excited. And I turn to the rest of the group. I'm from Stormhome. If we need to go somewhere safe, we could go to my parents.
I ain't taking you to Stormhome.
Well, why not?
I've got a boss that don't like me taking jobs on the side, no matter how small they are.
So, what if I told you, I'm a little bit more acquainted to helping out around ships than you might know?
Look, I don't like my boss. Well, I do like my boss. I'm scared of my boss. I'm not gonna put my life on the line because you know how to handle a boat. I'll take you as far as Glyphstone Keep. No further. I'll even give you a discount.
Who's this boss of yours?
Stormhome, his name's Rizzo. No? Okay. Basically, you don't mess with him. I don't want to spend any time not in his favour, because a lot of the time you don't come out of not being in his favour, so...
I hear that, man.
Your boss is Rizzo.
Yeah.
Oh, Rizzo's not that bad.
Well, what do you know? You're not one of his, are you?
I know enough. I know plenty, actually.
Look, I'm just...
If you don't like Rizzo, I can teach you how to escape Rizzo. Because I had a friend who once did.
I don't want anything from you other than your coin to get you to Glyph's Keep.
Glyphstone Keep sounds lovely.
I want to live.
Then, can you do me a favor next time you see him?
Can you roll a persuasion for me, please?
Absolutely. If it wants to cooperate for me. The anticipation is palpable.
20. So as you lean in, you sort of like flicking your hair. This guy's sort of like, yeah, maybe. What is it?
Echoes never die.
Oh, all right. But you just want me to tell him that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. And he sort of like gives you a bit of a wink. And he's like, so, Glyphstone Keep all right, yeah? Couple of coppers.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't leave till morning, so you're probably going to want to go and do whatever thing you want to do before then. But then otherwise make me down by the docks. I'd say before sunrise, but you can't see the sun here. Basically, when everyone starts to calm down, come down to the docks.
Sounds good.
Okay. And he just sort of shifts his boots back onto the table and leans back into his chair and starts puffing on his pipe again. He's like, I'll see you down there. And he sort of scoops like a woman, sort of a dwarf, a barmaid as she comes past, and makes sort of like a cooing face at her, and she slaps him around the face and keeps going.
Good. Okay, well, we have some time before we have to go.
Wait, sorry, where are we going?
I drink the rest of my drink 'cause I can't with that.
Constitution save as always.
There
Please.
we go.
Who actually
19.
I was gonna say, is Vesh drinking? And is
he's trying to. I'm assuming this is probably like skunky ale, yeah.
yeah, it's homebrewed. It's homebrewed. And Tart, once again, you just absolutely fine. You neck that and no effect. And again, Vesh, with your body size and body weight, you actually aren't too bad. You feel a bit like
Yeah, I think it's more of him like having to choke it down as in he doesn't like the taste of beer, and this is probably a stronger homebrew.
sort of hold your nose
Yeah.
and go for it. And what's Emmett doing at this point after witnessing this scene with this person?
So I want to say that once Kaya kind of leaned in and started talking, I don't know if you'd want me to roll, but just to observe Kaya's face and see if it shifted again like he has seen before.
Yeah, roll a perception for me. Okay, on a 15, I'd say, I mean, disagree with me here if you want higher, but you see the same sort of curl of the lips and the smile that you saw earlier in the dwarves' home.
Okay. Emmet takes note of that, the shifting face again, and just reaffirms. Okay. Kai is just like, Tart, that's all. But Emmet will also stay within like 2 steps of Tart the entire time and be observing the bar and the patrons around.
Okay, you guys, I'm just going to go get some rations for everyone. I'll be back later. See you guys soon. Bye.
Emmet follows.
Emmet, you don't have to follow me everywhere.
You have to get it safe out of these pipes.
I mean, the pipes aren't really in the city, so it's kind of like you've already done your job.
We are not out of the pipes.
But we are out of the city, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of, but not.
That is so true. That you are so smart. Cool. Okay, well, rations. Let's go get the rations together.
Rations.
I'm going to go find someone selling rations.
Okay.
Poor Tart. Tart wants to go be sneaky, and and Emmett's not going to let her.
I'm going to get rations. What are you talking about? I'm so good at lying.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I go find rations, Alice.
you go to find rations, and you do have, I'm assuming, an Emmett very, very close to you the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys start to walk through and mix with this huge group. Do you guys,
We mix with a huge group, you say?
all these dwarves, there's all these dwarves, that you're in a big crowd.
Cool.
We're dwarves are, yeah, they're. Vesh is trying to be very careful around the dwarves. I mean, I'm assuming he's taller than anybody at almost 8 feet tall, and so if the crowd's getting thicker, he's getting a little bit more nervous, and especially after having made such a scene back at the bar. But yeah, no, he's just trying to not get separated from these people, because sort of being down here, and he's still very much on on a boat out towards the water was his plan from since before he met these people. So
Vesh, as you walk through this crowd, it's quite almost disorientating for you, because it's not at eye level, it's all around you. And it's like you blink a couple of times and your vision blurs and things start to go dark, and slowly you can't hear the music anymore. It starts to fade away until it stops altogether. You are in the old city once more. The buildings tower high, high above you, higher than before. And it's not dark, but it's not light. There are flags and banners just drifting in the breeze, hanging off these buildings. There are alleyways branching off this one main road in the city you seem to be stood in. And you see the same mist circle your ankles once more.
The banners, they look like they're new? Are they old and tattered? Is this as though they've been aged, or are they?
Some of them are old, some of them are new. The ground itself looks worn, as if it's been marched on by hundreds and hundreds of feet. There are doors that have been boarded up. Windows are closed by shutters.
Does it look familiar other than from the previous vision, or is it?
You sense like there's like a weirdly comforting feeling, like you've been here before. But the smell is pretty stale and dusty. It feels very musty, almost like sand.
Hello? Tart? Matt? Gaia? Hello?
And you don't see anything, but in your head you hear a voice say, "It's okay, darling. I'm here. It's fine."
Am I child again, or am I current time?
You are current. It's okay.
Mom?
It's okay.
I think back at her. Where are you? What?
I'm here. I'm right here.
I look around. He turns in a circle.
There's no one around you, but out of the corners of your eyes, it's like you see black shadows walking down these alleyways and these streets, but it's only at the corner of your eye. Every time you turn to look, they're gone.
I can't see you.
As you spin around again, you see Emmett stood holding a red scarf, the same red scarf that he gained from the small child at the market. They seem frozen in motion. Emmett looks almost like a statue, but the scarf is moving in this unknown breeze. And Emmett has a hand over his chest, and Blue lays at his feet.
I run over to them. Emmett? Blue? Emmett? Emmett? Blue? What's happened?
Emmett doesn't move at all. And Blue is in pieces on the ground.
No. You say Emmett's got their hand on their chest?
Like he's reaching out with one hand and he has his other hand over his chest.
Emmett, are you hurt? Emmett? Or his eyes?
There's no light there at all.
Emmett.
You've never seen them without light.
Emmett. No, I don't want you to be just parts. No.
And the scarf leaves Emmett's hands and flutters and you can see in a doorway further down another alley, there is a figure. Kaya stands there, smiling, leaning in the doorway, and her hair shifts in the breeze, but like Emmett, she seems to stand there like stone.
Vesh grabs a scarf and then sort of starts yelling to Kaya, I need help. There's something wrong with Emmett. Kaya, we need help. Kaya, help us, please.
Kaya remains unmoved. The doorway behind her opens, and a dark shadow steps forward and looms over her. A little taller, but rests a hand on her shoulder. Kaya does not move.
I go down to the doorway that Kaya said, get away from her. Who are you? What are you doing? What are you doing?
You hear your mother's voice again. Careful. Come away.
But I look around for my... What, Mom? These are my friends. They've been helping me. I'm trying to find a home again. They've been helping.
I know. Come away from the shadow.
What is the shadow?
It's not good.
I can't leave Kaya with the shadow.
She'll be fine. She'll be absolutely fine. It can't touch her.
I don't understand, and I don't like this.
And you start to hear water trickling. And it's coming from down the end of the alleyway you're currently in. And you can see a fountain in an open square. A very highly decorated fountain. It's beautiful. It's carved in an old sandstone and has worn away from where the water flows.
I look to Kaya in the shadow. Do I see anything down by the fountain that draws me to it?
As you, I guess, look around the corner a bit, you see Tart there, sat on the side of the fountain, her fingertips touching the water as the water from the top of the fountain trickles and dances on a very glass-like pool.
Tart! Vesh runs to Tart. Tart! I don't know what's going on.
Tart doesn't move, doesn't blink, doesn't do anything.
Tart? I look around to see if there's any shadows, having heard that shadows can hurt people.
You can see, in fact, roll a perception for me, sorry.
11.
Okay. You see more out to the corner of your eye than anything. Some shadows. Well, a shadow that stands in one of the alleyways opposite you both. But it doesn't move. It's just watching. There's nothing else. And you see Tart's face flicker from Tart to Ophelia, from Tart to Ophelia, to other faces that you've never seen before.
Tart. I kind of think back to Kaya in the doorway and Emmett out in the main street. Um, and I look to that shadow that's sort of watching from the alley. You can't have her. No, you can't have her. And I try to pick her up to take her back so I can get everyone in one spot so I can try to guard them.
She is a dead weight. If you could roll a strength for me to see if you can actually pick her up.
That's not one.
You are pulling at Tart, but there's, for some reason, nothing seems to be able to move her at all. She's completely limp in your arms and not moving. And the shadow takes one step forward.
I then sort of turn to the shadow, stretching my arms out, sort of guarding Tart. No, 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 you stay back. You stay back. I'm not going to let you hurt them. Mom, help them. Help me.
You feel a hand rest on your shoulder.
I swing around.
Your mother is stood there, and she immediately stands in front of you and in front of Tart. And she just shakes her head at the shadow. And she's like, back up, darling. To you. And she just glances back at you. She said, back up.
Does the shadow look like it had stopped coming forward?
It has halted.
Vesh backs up. Why are they here? And where are the shadows? And what have they done?
This is Cyre, darling. This is what it's like now. Back up. And this time she's talking to the shadow. And she said, you're not doing it again. Back up. And she rushes this shadow, and it's like an explosion of mist hits you. And you are thrown, and you can feel like it's like a damp fog that hits your face. And you fall over, you fall down, and Tart is gone, and everything at first seems dark, and your chest tightens, and it burns a little bit. And as the mist gets thicker and thicker, blurring your vision, your fingertips start to tingle and flicker, and static jumps from your fingertips. As the fog clears, you're in a room.
What's the room look like?
This is an empty room. It looks like it was probably a house once. But there's nothing in it now. There's an upturned table. There's an upturned chair. And a man sat cross-legged in the center of it.
Hello? Hello? He kind of waves to see if it's like Tart and everyone else was frozen or whether he seems to react.
The man's eyes are closed. He has long, shaggy hair. That settles roughly on his brow, which you can see tense as he hears your words. And as you take a step closer, you can hear whispers start to surround you. You know they come from him, but his lips do not move. and then his eyes snap open. And he stares directly at you. But it's like he doesn't see you. Vesh?
Yes, hello?
Vesh?
Can you hear me?
And then, as if nothing had happened, darkness consumes you again. And you are back in the tavern. You're back outside the tavern. And the rest of you will have seen Vesh effectively black out but stay standing as you come back.
Vesh, you alright, love?
Vesh,
Wait,
you just sort of, I mean, honestly, you kind of just did a me, I think.
where'd he go?
Where'd who go?
There was someone who knew me. Well, and it was like the dream last night, but I wasn't dreaming. I was just walking. We were gonna go get the boat.
I take
Now
Vesh's
I know.
hand. Right. Look, what? Why don't we sit down and why don't you tell me about it, alright?
Okay.
They're getting rations. We can get to the boat in time. Let's have a sit back down on a chair or something, and you take it one step at a time, yeah?
And Vesh. Where's Blue? Where's Blue? Where's Blue? Where's Blue?
I am here. And Blue just strides in with his new arm. Hello.
You're okay.
Emmett followed Tart.
You're okay. You're okay.
I am fine. Are you okay?
I don't know. I saw Cyre,
Cyre,
the dead city.
you can't have done. You're right here.
And I saw it. And my mom was there. And Kai, you were there, but you were frozen.
Frozen? Like icy frozen or just sort of frozen?
Like that.
Hmm.
You were in a doorway and there was a shadow. There was a shadow. There was a shadow. There was a shadow. There were shadows. They were
Hey.
they were sneaking. They were sneaking around, or they were coming. It was like the shadows were people. They were stepping out of the darkness. And one was, you were in a doorway and it came out from behind you. And my mom, she was in my head. You know how I can sometimes, and he sort of stops talking with his lips and talks with his telepathy, talk to your into your mind. She was like that, and she said that the shadows were bad, but that I couldn't help you. And then there was Tart. She was by a fountain, and the fountain was old, and there was a shadow that was coming at her, and so I protected her, or I tried to, but then my mom was there and she sent it away. And my mom turned into mist. She ran at it because I asked my mom to stop it, and she ran at it. Then she turned into mist, and then I was in a room, and then
Look, Vesh. Where's Frederick? Where's Frederick right
I
now?
saw a man. I saw a man in a house. with shaggy hair. He kind of puts his hand through his hair. No, I don't know. 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 But he knew my name. He knew my name. And I pull out Frederick and just sort of hold Frederick. I was here.
Look. It's gonna be all right. We'll figure out what it means. There's no doubt about it that you're special. It's gonna happen. There's a lot of things going on with you right now. Remember, you said you're going through a lot of changes. I almost bought you the wrong kind of book, but there's things that we can't exactly explain, but we're gonna find the answers. All right?
Okay. Maybe we can find some answers for you too.
That'd be nice, but I've been like this for a little bit now, and I think all my answers are more or less, sorry love, you took one too many bumps on the noggin. Let's focus on you, all right?
Actually, I have a favor to ask.
A favor, yeah.
And Vesh looks at Kaya straight in the eyes and goes, I need to ask a favor of the other you.
The other me?
Remember we talked about there's some things that we can't control and do by accident, and sometimes things get broken around us. I said, but sometimes you can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
I need to scary you to make sure that nothing happens to Blue.
I don't know how the scary me works. I don't. I mean, I'll try to leave her a memo, I guess.
Maybe next time I see her, I'll tell her.
Sure.
Is that okay with you?
Well, I mean, you can. Are you still communicating telepathically?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, maybe if you tried a bit harder, you might find her somewhere in here.
I don't know if it works that way, but I just sort of get almost like he gets like a sort of stern voice and goes, not shouting, but just sort of as though trying to just be very clear. It's like, I need you to keep Blue safe. That way also Blue doesn't hear, because I saw Blue torn.
I recommend you not poke around in heads, boy.
Vesh
Vesh.
like just starts back.
Vesh, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. He lies.
Kaya reaches out her hand. Vesh, are you all right?
Yeah. I'm talking verbally now. Yeah, I'm okay. They got the message, I think. Or okay.
Well, tell her I said hi at least. Next time. She probably doesn't seem very nice.
I'll say hi for you. Kind of, his voice is shaking a little bit. She likes her privacy, I think.
I guess.
Who doesn't, right?
Well, she's called the Scary Me for a reason.
Right. Okay, then. Um. Frederick, Vesh sort of says, "Do you want to hold Frederick for a minute?"
I'm feeling okay. Maybe you hold on to him because I think you might have. If you really did hear the scary me, then maybe you just need to hold on to that for a second. I think.
Okay, 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 okay then. And Vesh picks up the ale and whatever ones people might have left on the table, and just if there's one like that they served Emmett that Emmett didn't drink, Vesh just necks it, takes it all, chugs it all the way back.
You know I'm gonna ask.
I
Can
know you
please
are.
have- Yep.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, okay, so if anything, you've just sobered right up.
Yeah.
After what's just happened. As you chug this ale. And we're gonna hop over to Tarts and Emmett, who I'm assuming Tarts is still, like, are you trying to lose Emmett in this crowd?
Yep.
Okay.
But if I can't, then I guess I'll talk to him like a person. Emmet.
Yes.
So I know you're like supposed to like protect me and stuff, but I think maybe the best way you could do that is to leave me alone for a while.
I don't understand.
Okay, I will explain it to you. Our group may be compromised.
By what?
By a member of it. The one who keeps murdering people.
You think she will hurt Vesh or you? Or Blue?
Or get us hurt.
How so?
Through her actions, you know? Like the stabbing or the heart attack giving. I don't really care. I'm just not going to stick around to find out. And I prefer Vesh not to get hurt.
Vesh can't be hurt. He should not be hurt.
That's right. So, if anyone is vulnerable, it is probably the person who is with the problem. So
I
maybe
left Blue with Vesh.
But, you know, Blue is very tiny compared to you, Emmet. You are very strong.
He has a new arm.
Yes, but maybe he does not use it yet.
He almost knocked me over.
That's what I mean.
It was well done.
Can you both roll opposing persuasions, please?
I mean...
Pure logic and
Oh.
pure smarm.
Okay. So, Emmett, how are you convinced? Or Tart, how are you convincing? Emmett?
I mean, I'm not really one for just the roll against the roll. I'm just really trying very hard to even just get you. I'm trying to just get you to see the point that Vesh could be in danger right now. So I'm just going to harp on that for a while.
That's true, but Emmet was told to leave the group behind to keep you safe. So
Yeah. Totally.
Orders are orders.
I'm about it.
Let's see. How would you be able to convince? How do you plan on keeping the group safe by leaving? Or how do you plan on staying safe by leaving?
That's a great question.
If someone
you
tries
know,
to stab you, I cannot do anything if I am not there.
right. It's not so easy to stab me. I can be pretty scary. You don't know. I can be really scary.
Do you turn into your mom?
I could.
That is scary.
Thank you. I just think maybe if you weren't so worried about me, you could protect Vesh.
But I have to protect you.
She curses in Sylvan. Oh! Yeah. Oh, my friend, I don't want to lie to him. Okay. Emet. Kaya's going to get us all killed. I'm not staying with her anymore. Is that perfectly clear?
You are leaving the group to protect yourself.
I don't want to leave Vash.
As you are having this debate that is going on, Tart, you feel a searing pain.
Why?
A painful, an absolutely agonizing pain in your lower back.
Ow.
Like, it is. You haven't felt a pain like this. And Emit, you will see this. And you will also glance back at Vesh, and you see this is at the point where Vesh is coming out of his vision dream-esque type thing. And Tart, you know what's on your lower back.
Mm-hmm.
That is what hurts, and it almost makes you. In fact, can you roll a Constitution save just to see if you can keep standing?
No, I cannot.
No, you. Okay, so Emit, you will see that Tart effectively collapses.
Can I? Let's see. I'm gonna try and catch her.
Yep, you do a athletics because I feel you would run to her.
You're having a horrible day.
I am.
Okay, how do you miss?
You said I looked back at Vesh.
You're sort of in between as you're sort of arguing effectively as to which group you're supposed to see, and you've seen Vesh almost in like this weird state, and Kaya and Blue trying to calm him down.
Okay, so I turn to see Vesh as I understand that Vesh must be protected, and I myself agree. Emet agrees with Tart. Vesh should be protected. And now he's trying to fight orders. So Emet turns to look at Vesh and then hears Tart's small cry, or however you react to the pain, and he immediately turns back and sees, and that's why, because he wasn't looking directly at you, it's just a second too far, too late. But he will, like, scoop you up after he gets up to you.
She starts thrashing.
Okay, can you make...
Yeah, she's like thrashing around.
Okay, so I'm going to say you pick her up, but can you roll a strength to keep hold of her, please? And at this point, dwarves are starting to stop and look, and you get, like,
There we go.
the goblin that's like, "Nah," as you sort of hit it on the way. As you, Tart's foot catches a goblin, almost knocks him straight to the floor. But Emit, you manage to keep hold of Tart as she writhes and trying to get, I guess, like you're trying to escape your body almost. With this pain.
Yeah, she's just kind of like cursing in Sylvan. It doesn't even probably make sense in that language. It's just, yeah, she doesn't know what to do with it, so it's just thrashing and crying out.
Emet picks her up and will probably turn to go back to the group, then stop and be like, oh wait, but Kaya's a danger, possibly. Hesitates, but then keeps going.
So, Vesh and Kaya and Blue will see this scene. We'll see Emmet walking towards them with Tart. And Vesh, that same feeling that you had where your chest seems to tighten and start to burn. You can feel it, and this is quite searing, but it doesn't last long. And Tart, the pain slowly subsides, almost like if you've been burnt, but it's calming down, like something's just pressed something very cool against it as you arrive back at the group.
So I felt it again outside of the vision, or it was sort of corresponding to the same time when I was feeling it in the vision?
Both. So whilst you were having the vision, it first reacted with Tart.
Right.
And now, as seeing this scene, as Emmett has sort of basically wrestled her into his grasp,
right,
bringing him back, you feel it again, but it very quickly subsides.
Okay.
Emmett gets back to the group and looks
Is
to
she okay?
Vesh
Is she
and
okay?
Cyre.
Is she okay?
No.
Bring her inside. We'll
His
set
eyes
her.
are yellow.
We'll set her in on a chair. Everyone needs to sit down, for fuck's sake. Jeez. So I lead Emmett to like nearest chair and just
there's
trying to
lots
get
of
ready.
benches and chairs and stuff everywhere. There's a bit further up which you can see, which is maybe not as buzzing because it's further away from where the tavern and the main bits are. And there's like a dwarf sat on the end, just watching you guys as you sit down, and he sips his ale.
Did someone attack you? Are you hurt? Are you stabbed? That's what Vesh knows.
As Tart's coming out of it, she's kind of like in a flop sweat, just taking really long but shallow breaths at the same time.
Sort of a hyperventilating.
Yeah, but like working its way down to calmer.
Are you okay? What happened?
I don't know. Do you?
I take her hand. I said no.
No. As she pulls it away.
We're gonna figure it out.
I see you.
Kaya looks hurt. What are you talking about?
Emet, I think I need to find a place to lie down.
Okay.
But maybe you should carry me, because I can't really walk right now.
Okay. Emmett will pick up Tart.
Thank you.
What happened?
I don't know.
She collapsed.
She is kind of like holding the lower part of her back.
Can I see it? Can I take a look?
No, we are in the middle of a tavern. I don't feel like undressing.
Well, then can we get somewhere private? I actually used to be a spellcaster for a while. Maybe I might be able to help.
No, I think I just need like some ice, maybe. Good lie down, pillow support. Haven't slept in like a day. I'm very tired.
We will
Vesh
find it in.
is looking around. I looked at Blue actually. Blue, you worked in a tavern. How do we get a room?
And he sort of walks over to what the sort of makeshift bar is, and he slams this new fist down onto the bar, and he's like, a room, I need a room. And he just starts shouting. He's like, that's what dwarves normally do. And
That's
just
really
continues
good.
to yell.
Blue, that's really good.
And this female dwarf comes over like, oh my god, like moves his fist off this, like, don't break everything. What? And he's like, he sort of says, I would like a room, please. So, we don't have any rooms. We
Are
can.
there room somewhere?
We
Someplace
can't stay
we can lie
overnight.
down?
You can.
Is there an inn?
And she sort of looks over to Emmett carrying Tart. And Vesh, you're still hurting a little bit here, so I'm not sure if that'd be visible. And she's like, come here. And she starts walking out the back through a door, and she opens the door and walks in. It's like,
Emet follows.
Yeah, Vesh is following as well, and I
As
think
do I.
zoom tight.
Yeah, bless you.
sorry. Yeah. So she's like, you can use my room for now. She looks like she needs it, and it's just a simple double bed. There's a wash basin and a desk and a table with some stuff on. She sort of looks at Tart because I'm guessing you look like you've really hurt. And she's like, "Just
Yeah.
there on the bed, and I'll get you guys some wine. He's like, don't tell anyone we serve wine," and just leaves.
Okay.
Emet will lay Tart down on the bed.
Don't know what happened. Huh. Let me try something real quick. And I changed to Ophelia. And the mark is on Ophelia's forehead.
And it's
Does that-
glowing.
Ah,
Vesh all of a sudden seeing the glowing. Your thing. The thing is, it's shiny now.
yep.
Does it do that normally?
Sometimes. Vash, could you come here for a second? Come here. Vash, come. Vash, come here.
Okay.
As he gets closer, does anything change about it?
Nothing changes. Maybe Vesh, you can feel not the burn, but more of the ache that you felt earlier.
Does it hurt in your chest when it glows like that?
No, it just kind of hurts wherever it is.
Can Vesh, or actually, that'd be, what's Kaya up to?
I was gonna approach and say, all right, I'm gonna take a look at it if that's all right, Tart.
No, it's not.
Well, why won't you let me help you?
Because I don't trust you. Was that unclear?
I'm a little unsure as to why.
You'll remember eventually, I think.
The other face, Kaya.
It has a voice too.
What?
Yeah. When I tried to talk to it in your head, it spoke back.
Kaya turns around and she kind of leans against the door. She takes her fist and smacks the door frame once, twice. I don't know what's going on. I'm really trying to sort this out. I'm sort of stuck here with you people who I'm trying to consider my friends. Maybe I need help sorting myself out too.
Well, like you said to me, we can figure something's going on with you and we can figure it out. Right?
I'd like that. I really would. Kaya turns back around. But you can't treat me like I'm a monster.
You're not safe.
Says the girl with the glowing tattoo on her head, whose mother deals in God knows what.
At this point, the dwarven woman comes back in and has looked at where your fist has got. She's like, mind the furniture, and pushes past with the big jug of wine and some goblets and plonks them down on the table. And she's like, do you need me to send for a healer or anything?
I look to Ophelia.
Oh, oops. Oops.
And I don't think we want to. No, thank you. Vesh is a terrible liar.
I assume the tension in the room, she can cut it with a knife.
I mean, you're probably guessing right now that the only reason you got this back room is because of who you are right now. And the dwarven woman just sort of bows her head. Is like, I won't tell anyone, Mom.
Thank you so much.
I can get you a healer that won't tell anyone either, if you need it.
That might not be a bad idea. Are there any religious types down here? Or arcanists? Exorcists?
How long has it been since Vesh noticed Tart having the pain? Has it been 10 minutes?
I'd say so, from going from the street to the tavern to the room, I'd say so.
You guys see Vesh's eyes begin to glow an electric blue as Ugolra has ritualistically cast Detect Magic to try to get some understanding of, see sort of the threads of the weave that are twining themselves around us, if you allow it.
So, are you looking to find or to sense, if you see what I mean?
I think at this point, it's a general... I think Ugolra is trying to sense what's going on in order to keep Vesh safe. That this is, sort of his Kiore concerned about the welfare of sort of a part of himself. I mean, it's almost like the reaction to feeling heat from a stove and sort of yanking it away. It's a, how do I keep, so I guess it's sense. It's not a deep dive, it's a sense.
You get a feeling, and you guess sort of, I guess through Vesh's vision, it's not like there's a glow, but you feel like you're looking and you're seeing, but you're not seeing, you're feeling like an energy. And you see an energy radiating from Cyre, and you see an energy radiating from Tart's head up here where the tattoo is. And as you look down, you see a glow radiate from your chest.
Are they all matching or different? No. Or
they seem different. Kaya's seems very, very different, but yours and Tart's seems similar. There is nothing at all around Emmett or Blue.
how about the Dwarven lady? Just this is new to Vesh to just sort of see as as someone who he doesn't know what's because Vesh is kind of confused by this a little bit of is this a vision again or what's going on?
Yeah, it's you don't see anything around her. You just see her for the smiling dwarven.
Right.
She is, and she's like, "You're right, darling."
I don't think we need a healer. But thank you.
No. Okay.
Don't
Well,
worry.
you know where I am if you call me. Leave you to it. And she just sort of slides out the door and shuts the door again.
So yeah, Vesh's eyes, because I think it lasts for 10 minutes, his eyes are still glowing sort of with this sort of electric blue light. I can see there's something, not just how it's glowing normally, but there's like something more. And there's something really different in you, Kaya.
And Kaya's radiance, as it was.
I mean, is it like
slowly
dark?
fading.
Is it like color? Or
It's like
the actual spell I know lets you know what like school of magic, but if you want to just give me sort of a sense of what he's sensing.
It's almost like it's like a shadow.
Like one of the shadows that I saw.
It's like a shadow. And that is where we will leave this week's episode of Eberron.
Cool.
Right. Awesome, guys. Thank you for putting up with my illness. I'm afraid everyone
Feel
sounds
better.
slightly nasally this week. All the NPCs are slightly nasally. But we will go round and we will talk to each one. Maybe say what your favorite bit is and where we can find you. Yeah, and where we can find you. So let's start with, let's go in reverse order. Let's go with Kaya.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kaya, or under the outfit that is Kaya, I'm Archmage Derek, or you can just call me Derek. You can find me at archmage_Derek on Twitter, or at themagecollege.wordpress.com, where myself, my amazing wife, it's Kana, and our good friend Tahina Andale write D&D 5e content, like subclasses, spells, magic items, and we're even working on a really cool new product called Goldeneye's Guide to Warlocks, which is coming out soon. So check that out. Are we doing like the favorite part thing as we usually do, Alice? Okay. So, but I gotta say, like, my favorite part, I don't know. I'm really loving the tension between Tart and Kaya, because that's a really good time. And also Emmett being just like really sweet and comforting with that sort of juxtaposition of being a giant metal robobit is amazing. So I loved all those things. This was a really fun RP episode. So I'm infinitely happy to be here, and I love all you guys. So yeah.
Awesome stuff. I think, yep, we've popped your links in chat. So now we're going to go round and we go over to Tart, our favorite changeling.
Yeah. Interesting developments. I liked the kerfuffle at the beginning a lot with the dead dwarf. That's what we're gonna call it, a kerfuffle. And you can find me over on Twitter at thatsaltyginger. Play games around the internet sometimes. I think the next thing I'm doing is Lady Blackbird on Off the Table Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is then going to be followed by Wilderness of Mirrors over on Arvin Elron's channel, which is 60s spy shenanigans. So yeah, that's the next time that you can find me. Outsiders Rule, Imperial Suck. The end.
Ah, yes. And we hop round to Vesh.
Oh, I had a blast. It's always fun with Vesh, and Vesh Poor Vesh. Vesh is just in so deep over his head, and it's kind of fun, and I love doing it. It's fun to play how he would react, even to some of the little stuff like, him, not having gold or money, pretty much. Of how do you get a room? I mean, him getting a room at an inn is something he's not used to doing. I mean, he lived a very thrifty life, even with the merchant, or as a kid, wasn't a part of those transactions. And then when he was sort of left out on the street, that's not an option in his world. So, it's been fun with that. I'm really liking Vesh and Emmett, and Vesh is sort of, he's building this idea in his head that being more like Emmett, the more he can be like Emmett, the better. Even this whole idea of that switching out, if you need a new arms or new legs, that you can swap them out, and then that could solve maybe some of Vesh's problems. That if he just didn't have these arms and legs that got in the way all the time, that wow, that's really cool that Emmett can just swap them out. And if you want to do different things, you just sort of swap out parts. And so Emmett's got this really weird sort of Vesh has this sort of really weird sort of envy, I think, of Emmett right now. So I look forward to seeing how that's going to develop. Anyway, I'm Tall Squall. You can find me all over social media as Tall Squall.
Awesome. And last but absolutely not least, Emmett.
I think this might be the first episode where Emmett has not been just no, they're so confused. I feel like that's been the whole thing. Emmett doesn't know what to do, is confused. Still. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is great. Trying to keep the stoic Emmett face on during this one was really hard. Oh, but yeah, let's see. Favorite parts this time? Oh my gosh, I feel like so much happened.
You had your first contact with a child as well.
Yes.
That was the first child I've thrown in so far.
And Emmett did not panic on the outside. And it kept cool and okay. Possibly the debate with Tart. I enjoyed that. Honestly, I was just waiting for you to duck away and disappear. I'm like, oh gosh, this is gonna be so bad.
I was going to. Seemed rude.
I was waiting for it. I'm like, all right, get ready. And the just the interaction with the entire group, especially dealing with Kaya's shift in personalities, it's getting real now. Like having to come to terms with it, liking the character, but actually still worried about what might happen because of the character. It's getting very good. And I go by Phoenix of 89 pretty much everywhere. If I am there, that's what I am. And for streaming, right now this is the only one. I will be here next week.
Awesome stuff. Thank you. Right, guys. Last few things before we wrap up. Twitter, if you want to get into a game like this, or we have viewer games every single week, just drop Scrapped a DM on Twitter and we will get you in one of those time slots. Discord, we are very proud of our Discord. It's full of lots of lovely people and it feels a bit like a family, and it's really nice just so that you can chat D&D, chat TTRPGs, or just chat. Like it's just a nice place to be. YouTube, we are fully caught up on YouTube. I never thought it would happen, but we are fully caught up. So you can watch everything, all our shows from the premieres up until this week. We are now full-time, so there are other ways to support us, like Patreon, which is really, really awesome. I still can't quite believe that this is a full-time thing for us now. It's amazing. So thank you guys so much. We also have merch. So hoodies, t-shirts, you name it. Redbubble does it all. They do scarves now, apparently. We also have some awesome sponsors. One of them is Bird in the Storm, with our very own Jay over here, Tool School, including Bird versus Plane and their awesome module we ran on our last academy. There's, I think, a second one in the works, and there's a lot more coming for season 2 from Bird in the Storm for some content for the channel, which I can assure you is awesome. Our other sponsor is Magehand Press. You can see their content, which is based D&D in space, which I love, every Thursday when I run Argo 37, as we use that for the channel, and there's some really awesome little things in there, little weapons, the new monsters. I know I keep saying it, but I'm in love with Wizmos, so they're awesome. We also have a competition. You can win a set of rainbow dice. There is a Twitter link, I think, below in the chat, and you can click on that and follow everything to enter. I think that we announce the winner in about 2 weeks' time. Now, we are going to raid Off the Table because they're awesome and we love Off the Table. So we're going to raid with our war cry, which is "School's Out" today. So Phil, chat with Hype, let them know that you came from the Scratch Kiss Academy, and yep, there you go. Scrat has popped it in chat, so you can just copy and paste if you want to. But other than that, thank you so much to chat for coming in. Thank you to these wonderful players. I'm so in on this story, and I'm so pleased I'm able to DM it and run it. So thank you so much, and we will see all of you next week. Bye.